I'm sure we can all relate to receiving a gift that we weren't hoping for. I was always taught to accept every gift graciously, even if I wasn't excited to receive it. Well, what a nice surprise when you finally get a gift that's almost too good to be true. It was something even better than what you were hoping for. Recently, I found a gift like this. It fell right in my lap. Today, I want to share with you how I found a way to earn free Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you how to do it, where to find it, and how I've been taking advantage of this opportunity. So let's just get right into it.
I want to share my best ideas that make the biggest impact. Let's make an impact on society. My mission is simple. I want to make a difference in people's lives.
Hey, welcome to Meta Impact. My name is Nico, and if this is your first time here, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you. I sincerely appreciate every single viewer. You guys are the best, and I can't tell you how thankful I am for all your feedback, your comments, and how this community is coming together. As always, my goal is to bring the best ideas that I have in investment concepts, people, companies, projects that are changing the world, while we together get closer to our financial freedom. So with that, let me also say that I am not a financial advisor. This is not specific advice, and I encourage you to make your own decisions after doing plenty of research. So what we're talking about today is really an amazing loophole. It's an opportunity to take advantage of the system in our favor and kind of flip the script on the ultra wealthy and the ultra sophisticated investors. The story really begins with the Grayscale Digital Assets Company, and it was founded in 2013. The Grayscale Digital Assets Company created what's called the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And in the Bitcoin Trust, the idea was to give investors the ability to access Bitcoin, but not without having to buy the Bitcoins themselves. What they could do is buy shares in the company. They're publicly traded. But here's the catch. The big institutional investors got to invest first. They could put their money in sort of the back door and let that money sit for 6 months or 12 months, a lockup period. And then when it became freed up, the shares of GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares, would sell in the open market, but they would sell for a premium, and the original investors would get to harvest that premium and do really well by it. Others, the common investors, like mostly me and you who go on a brokerage account like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, we can buy the shares of GBTC, but they're at a premium. And they've been at a premium since 2013. They've been at all kinds of wild premiums. In fact, I want to show you a chart, show you just how big the premiums are.
Here we are at the Grayscale homepage, which I visit very often actually to check in on the premiums of GBTC shares. And to access this information, you just go to their homepage, go to investment products, single asset, and over to the Bitcoin Trust. Now they have other assets as well, including Ethereum. I have some of these shares. But the main one I want to talk about today, we're taking advantage of the loophole, is with the Bitcoin Trust. So you just click here in the Bitcoin Trust, scroll down, click on market performance, and you get this chart, which shows the whole history of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust since 2013. And this registers the green line, the green trend line here is the actual share price. And the dark line underneath is the value of the Bitcoin per share. Now, if you look at some of these numbers, it has traded at a premium really forever. Since it was conceived 8 years ago. And what we have now is, for the first time ever, if we look at this chart, the first time ever, look at the 5-year chart here, this is the premium versus the underlying value of the Bitcoin. For the first time, just in the past few weeks, has the premium turned into a discount. Okay, so the price of each share of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is a value, it's on sale, versus the underlying Bitcoin. And it closed this past Friday, March 12th, at over 7% of a discount to the underlying Bitcoin. Now that is very exciting to me. I've been tracking this, really just looking at the premiums for the past year or so. And it's, always cool if I want to buy some to make sure the premium is as small as possible. I never thought it would go into a discount. So what is that discount right now? It's over 7%. We see when the market closed on March 12th, it was $49.98 versus an underlying Bitcoin value here of $53.80, so over 7%. That's pretty compelling. Now, what does 7% really add up to? Well, I'll tell you. The way I like to invest in GBTC is in my retirement accounts in Fidelity, in my IRA and my Roth IRA. So what I did was I put these numbers into an investment calculator, and we're going to use $10,000 if, let's say today I put in $10,000, and I let it sit there for 20 years, and I'm going to use a 30% interest rate of return year over year, because Bitcoin has been on a ridiculous pace of about 200% for the 12 years that Bitcoin's been around. I don't think that's going to be sustainable, but it'll probably be at least 30%. That's just my opinion. But we're going to do an annual compound rate with adding no extra money. In 20 years, if it grows at this percentage, it'll end up at $1.9 million. Well, let's say we're getting it at a discount. So we're getting 7%. 7% is another $700. So using $10,700, if I just bought actually $10,000, I'm getting a free $700 of value. And 20 years later, at 30% rate of growth, we're going to end up with $2,033,000. That is a difference of about $130,000, which in retirement, in a Roth IRA, tax-free money, $130,000 to me is big time money. That is a huge down payment on a house. It's maybe an RV so I can travel the country and do something cool with my money in retirement. So this free Bitcoin adds up over time. Let's say you have a bigger lump you want to put in. Bitcoin had just over the past 2 days has broken through 60,000. So let's say we want to buy one whole Bitcoin over 20 years at 30%. We're going to just use that rate still annually. And over 20 years, if it grows as we expect, it's going to be 11,400,000. Now, let's do the 7% discount. Let's say we buy 60,000 of Bitcoin, but we're actually getting a free $4,200 because we're getting a discount on the GBTC shares. So we add in the $4,200. We have $64,200 over 20 years at 30%. Compounding annually with no extra money, we get 12,200,000, which is a variance of about $800,000. Just speaking for myself, if I have $800,000 more of tax-free money, now look, $11.4 million is nothing to shake a stick at, but $800,000 more, woo, that's real game-changing money. Who knows what I would do with that? That is exciting stuff.
Again, this is not financial advice. This is just what I do. These are some of the tricks that I've found. And this is a loophole that I personally absolutely love and that I have and I will continue to take advantage of. But one thing is absolutely critical. If you want to track these prices, make sure that look at the Grayscale site every day and look at the Grayscale Trust price. It will show you. It's totally transparent. The cost of the GBTC shares versus the underlying Bitcoin value. And when I'm a buyer is when the cost of the shares drops significantly below the value of the Bitcoin in those shares. That is an awesome advantage that we have knowing this information. So I'm not a trader. I'm a long-term holder. This is not a gimmick. I want to retire early, potentially, and have financial freedom in my life. That's why I do this, and that's why I share these ideas with you. Additionally, I want to share some of the pros and cons of GBTC to really understand what this company is and what are the good things about GBTC shares versus actually owning Bitcoin, and what are some of the downsides of GBTC. I think it's good to know these things. Probably the biggest advantage of GBTC and holding Bitcoin there, in my opinion, is having it in my retirement accounts. I have both an IRA and a Roth IRA, and I want to have Bitcoin in those accounts, and I want to earn all that growth without taxes so that when it comes time to retire, I have a tax advantage way of accessing that money. And so that's my number one advantage of using GBTC for holding my Bitcoin. Second advantage is that you have an entity right, that is a big organization and it's regulated by the SEC. So while there are people involved with it who are fallible, you do have regulating bodies overseeing the Grayscale Trust. So that gives me confidence. I feel good about that. I also feel like the way they custody and hold the Bitcoin for me through the trust is very safe. In my opinion, I think it's very safe. I know that they use institutional grade cold storage. So they take that Bitcoin and they put it on ice basically, so it can't be hacked and nobody can get at it. That makes me feel good when I'm holding money for retirement, that I feel it's in a safe place. And final advantage is that when I'm trading, mostly buying, because I'm not really selling this right now, I'm holding it. When I'm buying it just like a stock. So I'm buying shares of GBTC for me through Fidelity, and I pay no fees. So that's awesome. There's no purchasing fees. In contrast to somewhere like Coinbase, where I'm gonna get hit pretty hard with fees, I'm buying straight up GBTC shares with no hidden fees. Now for some of the cons or disadvantages of GBTC. Let's go right to the fees. So GBTC charges 2% annual fee to manage and store safely the Bitcoin on my behalf. But I feel like that's totally worth it. 2% for my peace of mind, knowing that my stuff is being saved in a very safe place. And if I look at Bitcoin growth over time, historically 200%, and like we used in our examples, 30%. Okay, what's 2% of that for the peace of mind knowing that it's safe? So there are fees associated with GBTC. Another disadvantage is that there are people involved. One of the main reasons that we love investing in crypto and Bitcoin is that it's decentralized and there's no humans involved in it. Well, now that we're using a trust to hold the Bitcoin for us, there are people involved. Well, I think it's very unlikely. When there's people, there could be a scandal. There could be something that comes up where someone does something very untoward and gets the company in trouble. But I think my assets are generally safe here. Obviously, because GBTC is traded during the stock market hours, unlike crypto, you can't trade it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's one of the reasons why a lot of us love crypto. We can look at our prices in the middle of the night if we want to and sell or buy something. But it's still worth it, in my opinion, because I'm playing the long game. I'm sticking my money into GBTC for retirement for the long run. You also cannot earn interest or staking rewards on your crypto when you hold it in GBTC. It's only the Bitcoin, and it will grow as Bitcoin grows. No interest like Voyager, which I love. I talk about the Voyager app a lot. You can earn interest in there, but it's not a retirement account. So sometimes there's a trade-off, some good, some bad. And finally, one other negative is that not only is Bitcoin volatile, price is up, it's down, depends on what mood Bitcoin is in, but now we have this issue of the premiums and the discounts that fluctuate. Well, I think, this is just me, but I think, as I said before, the price of the shares to the amount of Bitcoin over time will eventually even out and end up very close to zero or at a very small premium. So I'm not worried about these fluctuations. All I care about is that Grayscale Trust holds right now $38 billion of Bitcoin and they keep adding it. So I feel really confident that I'm going to own a lot of value of Bitcoin in the long haul, and I don't care about the big swings. If you enjoy content like this, with strategies that I use to get closer to my financial freedom, please smash the like button. It would really help the channel a lot. If you want to get notifications in the future, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for staying to the end. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves. God bless. Peace. Supporting themes, companies, and ideas that make the world a better place.